Oh, Dr. Hillman, I really appreciate this last question. What are the theological questions or dilemmas that you have grappled with during your studies but have not yet found a definitive answer to? Uh, there is definitely one. I've had so many questions answered. That's been one of the biggest blessings about my studies is questions that I'd had since I was a child being answered by the various professors just over and over. And it's continued this time around in seminary. So grateful for these professors. So grateful for all that I've learned. Um, they've all just been incredible and patient. I am always asking them questions, and I am so grateful for their patience to answer me. But the one thing that I don't have answers to that are adequate for myself, even for my little family, is with regards to eschatology. And I hold to a premill, pre-tribulational rapture view, and I always thought I could defend it. I was raised Southern Baptist, and remember these giant charts. We had a very famous, beloved pastor, Harold Ochester. He would open. It was a big church, and he'd open all the way across the stage. He had this mural, and he would start with creation, and in the center was the cross, and then he would show the rapture of the church and the second coming of Christ. And I didn't realize at the time that there were any other views. It was very well done, and it was a dispensational view, pre-tribulational rapture view, of course. um, and my husband grew up in the same church, and so he has had the same teaching, and at one time held to that. But as he's gotten more reformed, he just can't see a pre-trib rapture in the Bible. And the passage that is so often, that we use to defend that, the whole idea that the dead in Christ will rise first, and then the fact that we will be caught up to be with him in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Of course, you know this. He would view that as that's the time that Christ is coming down, and the church comes up to meet him and then comes down with him. And he, of this other persuasion, they always insist that that's two different second comings, and there's not two different second comings. Well, I go round and round with it, but no, that doesn't mean it's another second coming. That's us being taken up to be with him in the air. That's different. But I just am on really shaky ground where it's concerned. And I believe that just like with the first coming, there were things they couldn't possibly have known until he actually came the first time. And then they'd be, this is how the scriptures work together. I think the same thing is going to happen with the second coming and with the rapture of the church whenever it happens. I believe the same thing will happen. And yet, I do think there's some semblance of this view or this view could be correct. And I would like to be able to support my view better than I can. I spoke to Dr. Ryrie years ago, just a wonderful conversation, as I'd said before, when he was speaking at a church I used to go to. And something he said about the rapture made me even more convinced. I thought, I believe this is true, but I can't support it well enough. So I would like to be able to do that. And then the second question is asking, either that, or if I can't, then become fully persuaded that it's not the correct view, but I'm somewhere in the middle. I really believe it is the correct view, but I can't argue with them and with my husband. And my goal isn't just to be a good debater or to argue, but I want to at least be able to present some things to where the other side will say, well, oh, yeah, okay, that's plausible. I don't seem to be able to do it. So I have never taken eschatology. I just know what the views are. Um, so I think taking that class would be most helpful. And this leads me to my last point, your question of how do you plan to continue exploring these questions in your theological journey? Well, my hope and my prayer. It seems like the Lord may be directing and guiding and opening the doors for me to continue with the de-admin. I'm not 100% sure. I have no idea how I'll be able to pay for it. I am hoping to have employment at the school, but at the moment, I'm still going through some recovery from post chemo, post radiation, and I need my mobility and different things just to be a bit better before I can get up every morning and go into church. Go into to work at DTS. My husband works very near the campus, and we've talked about how fun it would be to go to work together. So he could easily take me. We would love that. I'm trying to hopefully something will open up that is remote, that at least I can start at home, and that might be in the works. There is a little something that we're praying about, and that someone is trying to help us with. But anyway, my point is, I don't know how we could afford it financially unless I can work for the school, but we'll see what happens. And the Lord will guide, if He will provide, if that's what He wants. But the exciting thing is one of the leveling classes. I couldn't believe that I only had 5 leveling classes. That Another thing that brought tears to my eyes. I was just thrilled because of the way my degree started out years ago. I just have 5 classes, and they all just look just delicious to me. I'd love to take them, but one of them is eschatology. And I asked, dear Dr. Kreider has been such a blessing this time around and in school to me. So I asked him if he teaches it, and he says, yes, he does some. So hopefully that should really help. Then at least I can explain the viewpoint properly, and hopefully I'll be able to continue and have it fall under the umbrella of the de-admin as a leveling course. So good question. I've appreciated all of these and loved my time at DTS. And I can't believe, Lord willing, I'm actually going to finish